Hey everybody, Catch 'em All Collectibles here with another PSA return video. Tonight I've actually got two submissions to show you. The first one, this is it, all laid out. I'm just going to kind of pan over the stacks. Nothing too noteworthy, nothing too groundbreaking or exciting, but I figured I'd show it because it came back and it's kind of a fairly typical return. I've mentioned a lot of times I've graded a lot of duplicates of really popular Pokemon. Less than $10 a card, even grading super common cards when they're Pikachu, Charmander, Charizard. I mean, you've got the ETB promos from Champion's Path. You've got Evolutions. It's funny, I didn't get a single PSA 10 Evolutions Charmander, but I got a few of the Pikachus and a bunch of the 9s. Everything you see here, every stack is like a solid stack. So these Pikachus over here, there's more 10s than 9s. I don't know how well you can tell, but there's a lot more 10s than 9s for that one. And then the only Battle Academy Pikachu that had more 9s than 10 was number 55 for whatever reason. I guess I should explain that too. Some people might not know what these cards are. So if I just grab two Charmanders here, same art, but for people who are really particular, and a lot of us collectors are, about having like master sets or of every Charmander ever released or every Pikachu ever released, these are from the Battle Academy game, and there were 4 unique Charmanders and Pikachus because every card in the deck was numbered. So for Charmander, there was a number 1, number 16, number 42, and you see it was in the Charizard deck, number 16 and number 42. So nothing that's ever gonna get really expensive, go crazy, anything like that. But just, like I said, good, popular Pokemon, really cheap cost basis, good inventory to have. Yeah, you've got an exclusive Charizard GX, exclusive, same as the Let's Go Eevee Pikachu, the non-holo Dragon Majesty art. And you've got the Black Star promo Mew that a lot of people have got bricks of. There's a lot of bricks floating around out there. Yeah, the Mewtwo's are from the Mewtwo deck, Raichu's from the Raichu deck. And then you've got just a handful of the popular, what's that, Sao art, Pikachu. You've got the few promos that came in those same packs. So yeah, again, nothing too exciting for that. I'm going to cut shortly to a 400, or yeah, this was a 200 card. I think the next one was a 500 card. So that one's got a little more variety and a little more excitement in it. But one kind of funny note, there were only a couple 8s in this, and I set them aside because there weren't too many. But one kind of common theme that I'm feeling in my CGC returns is that I kind of regret sending out so much before my first ones came back. I'm finding my average grades settling in at around CGC 8, 8.5, way too many of those comparative to CGC 9s, and CGC 10s basically just don't exist. I similarly was chucking out cards to PSA and CGC with very little pre-grading. And you just see my PSA returns come back. Lots of 9s, lots of 10s. My CGC returns come back. A lot of 8s, 8.5s, 9s. Very few 9.5s, very few 10s. I just thought that was an interesting note that PSA hasn't made me regret poor or non-existent pre-grading, whereas CGC really has a bit. So anyways, I'm going to pause. I'm going to get all these cards swapped out, and I'm going to come back with a more exciting return to finish off the video. So we drop down to a different angle here for the next portion of the video. I've got 200 cards in front of me, or maybe 250, so there'll be another pause in a little bit to cycle in the last batch, but this is pretty atypical. I don't think in all the time I've been on YouTube now, I don't think I've had any Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver era stuff come back. And I, at least, maybe some oddball stuff, but not as much as this return. So, pretty interesting return to see kind of stuff that's not clogging up the backlog. Stuff that you're not going to see, in my opinion, the pops run up as substantially as other stuff. The pops of everything is going to run up, especially if PSA maintains 10 million cards a year grading pace, and more especially so if they continue on to achieve 20 million cards a year that they supposedly claim to want to get to. To me, that feels like a massive number. It's a bit scary to think where we might be in 10 years if 200 million new slabs are out there. Obviously, that's not 200 million Pokemon slabs, but 200 million slabs in general. How many of those would be Pokemon? Is there actually that much demand for plastic? Maybe. I mean, they're printing 3 billion plus cards a year, so who knows? This little Arceus subset's pretty cool. Interesting one. Just again, stuff you're not really seeing too often. I have no idea on the pricing of these. The cool thing they did in some of the platinum sets, they did a few shining cards, like a chase card at the end, and then kind of like the box toppers of the E-Series sets. There was a few for each, and then 12 total. They kind of linked a few sets together with those shiny chases, which is pretty neat. So I think this will be a decent length video the week of the podcast, before the podcast. And I thought about I have a little over 1,000 CGC cards as well. I thought about just doing highlights of my 2,000 cards total, and that was going to be too much. So there'll be a CGC highlight video next week as one of my 3 videos. But for now, this one was tough to just pull highlights. Like I could have done highlights, but there's so many unique cards. Once we get to the point that every card isn't different, I'll probably just chunk them, just show you a handful, like stacks that are duplicated. But I guess I should discuss while we've got some time here where these all came from. So I actually bought a master set of nearly everything from EX era all the way to black and white, and including black and white. I think you'll see, I don't think it's in this submission. Not really. I think there'll be a later submission weeks, months, or years from now. Cool Mew. Hopefully just months. But I think I did submit not every holo from the black and white sets, but some of the more popular ones. Maybe I've still got them somewhere raw. Maybe I never did submit those. I don't even remember. Decent swirl there on Ludicolo. But yeah, that was just some of the buys I made years ago, and some of the cards that weren't gradable. I'm still turning up the odd binder or the odd box of things that I had just forgotten about. I really do need to go through, like I have mint pack fresh binder sets of a lot of these from years ago when I was opening boxes. Like these weren't worth, I wasn't grading the holos from these sets, just the level X's and the legends and the EX's. And so at some point I do need to go through my binders. Like if these PSA 9s and 10s sell for decent and we do return to $10, $20 card grading, there's just so many more things I'd have to submit. That's largely why I don't think we're gonna get back there, at least not anytime soon. If I had to put a time frame on it, I would just, I feel pretty safe in saying in the next, by 2025, you're not going to see $10 a card. And if you do, clearly I was wrong. The only thing that maybe could take us there is if prices really just continue downward and really take a beating, not just in Pokemon, but in sports and in kind of everything across the board. Maybe if everything just takes a beating, prices could get down there quicker, because if PSA were to open $10 a card right now, even though prices are down a lot, they would gain years worth of backlog within a couple months, just because that much more is still worth grading. But if the next year or two are pretty rough and prices continue downward significantly, then people are just going to kind of leave or grow disheartened or just reevaluate and remove a lot of things from what they intend to submit to PSA. So not that I want to see that happen, but I mean, there's probably a decent amount of collectors out there that might, right? I mean, if and when you can get slabs cards graded again for less than $10, I mean, presumably there would be a lot of deals to be had. PSA 10 Articuno. At auctions and stuff. And you're already seeing it a little bit. You're already seeing some deals here and there. Not quite PSA 10s for under $10, but I don't think we're going to get that far. But years ago, you could pick up just oddball stuff, even level X's, PSA 9. You could pick up ultra rare chase cards in PSA 9 at auction for $15, $20, or at times even single digit prices. So if we ever get back there, it'll be interesting to see how everyone reacts to that, how the market responds, and where we go from there. But yeah, just again, really cool cards. I have binder sets of these, but I can't say that I've had too much time recently to like pull out my binders and just admire cards. So it's really fun to just look through all these arts that I'm not seeing people post these on Instagram very much. I'm not seeing too many eBay auctions of these. I'm not seeing too many YouTube return videos with these popping up. So hopefully it's interesting to other people to just see cards you're not used to. And I'll be very interested once I get these photographed, hopefully this week. This week, my goal, I'm recording this on Sunday night, and actually my auctions are ending tonight. Right now it's 10 p.m. I think I have them starting to end at 11. So when I'm done with this, I'll be getting right into watching my auctions end. And my goal for the week is just to list as much as possible. I've got a little bit of Troll and Toad stuff I've got to get out. I've got some just obviously shipments, normal business, things like that. But I think I'm a little over 1,000 listings. I'd like to start the march towards 2,000 listings, because I've got a lot of slabs, and it's that time of the year. Holiday seasons are coming up, so I want to get everything onto eBay. Generally speaking, a lot of people look at newly listed buy it nows to see if anything's popping up in their saved searches or whatever. So as I list 1,000 new listings, I'm sure I'll get a lot of sales right off the bat. But going into like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then just the general weeks leading up to the holidays, I'll plan on running like nothing crazy, but 10-20% off sales maybe. Generally, I don't run those like universal. I'll pick, hey, I'll do this on $200 and under cards, or because occasionally I'll have like fairly competitively priced cards in the $2,000 to $10,000 range, and I don't want to discount something that's worth $5,000, listed for $5,000, discount at 20-25% for the holidays, and then kind of give something away too cheaply. So yeah, usually when I run a sale, I just run it for, I pick a certain price point and under, because generally speaking, when I list a card, I list it at lowest on the market, but my cost basis is usually fairly substantially under that. Again, the cost basis for these, extremely, extremely low. They were kind of a toss-in on a really large purchase. I think I've mentioned it at different times before, that This was actually a guy who drove in from Canada. It was like a Mercedes van, like a full-size van, not a minivan, filled. Literally totes, binders, just, it was the centerpiece of it. He actually had a lot of graded stuff too. Nearly a complete PSA 9 EX era, old school EX set. Not just the set card ones, like most of the promos and stuff too. And then he had a complete PSA 9 Gold Star set, or at least near complete. Now we're getting into some of the promos. So yeah, here's where I'll speed up a little bit. But yeah, so even though my cost basis is very, very low on these, I obviously want to get near market price. I mean, these are kind of unique cards to me. I don't really have too many more to replace them down the line. Oh man, I didn't get any 10s of this. I really like this promo. I think it's from a collection box right when Sword Shield came out. That's why you got Pikachu with Grookey, Sobble, and Scorbunny, the new starters at the time. But yeah, that collection buy was still I'll never forget that one. That was one of the greatest buys, if not the greatest buy ever made. Here's just the standard Reds Pikachu, 5 for 5 on the PSA 10. You've got your Scream promos that are just something you're always going to see in every return video. Almost always. Seems like a 9 and a 10 of each. And then I guess I was fairly out of order because we're hopping back into the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Triumphant Holos. But yeah, that collection buy, at some point I think I'll show a video kind of once I get through all these return videos. I've got some videos I want to do, like diving into my archives, old spreadsheets where I was calculating, hey, here's this collection, what do I want to pay? I can picture that. I haven't opened that spreadsheet in a couple of years probably, but I can picture it right now. There were so many unweighed EX era packs, and like I said, just master sets of all these Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. A lot of these reverse holos, actually, I don't really collect reverse holos in my own personal set, so those weren't all in like pack fresh mint. Clearly most of the holos were. So a lot of those went to Troll and Toad Evo. Some of them out of the mint ones I probably still have somewhere. I need to dig those up at some point. But we're getting close. This is the last little stack, and then we'll do a pause. And this is just gym challenge stuff. I actually did sell a little bit of stuff before this video is being made, just because I had a couple people who were buying from me, and they sent me like long wants lists, and it's something that I get too frequently to keep up with. Like, I'll get a lot of requests, hey, if you grade this card, let me know, I'll buy it from you. Well, when I have 100 people messaging me that over the year, it's really hard to remember everybody. But yeah, I'm going to pause quickly, get rid of everything, bring new stacks, and we'll go from there. So we did have a little bit of EX series before the pause, and I think this stack will round out the E series and kind of bring to an end more of the interesting stuff. I think I'm seeing in front of me behind these piles a little bit of WotC, a little bit of Hidden Fates, some other modern, and then various promos. So I guess 2/3 or so of the return was the more exciting, less seen things, and then the tail end, when fewer people are watching, is going to be a little bit of the less exciting stuff. So I guess that's the way it should be, right? To keep everybody engaged for as long as possible, and then by the end, whoever's still here at this point generally is gonna make it to the end. I know I'm that way on YouTube. Once I once I pick a video, it's pretty rare that I don't finish it. I'm not going to show every card here, so all the same card. Here's the 9s. I graded a lot of these apparently. 50 maybe? Not that many. Let me do the 9s and the 10s side by side. So yeah, really good hit rate on the 10s. I think in a 10 that's about a $50 card, but Hidden Fates tin promo, cost basis of very little if anything, because those packs sold for more than. Same thing goes with the Champions Path Elite Trainer Box promo. Really good buy there, even though a lot of people said Champions Path was kind of a dud. It worked out well for people who bought it wholesale especially. And then I think this was just, I think I had an odd non-holo rare set that was pretty mint. So I don't know if I sent in the whole thing, or it doesn't look like I sent in the whole thing. And I guess I sent in 2 Venomoths. So just some random non-holo rares I had. Your standard Eevees. A bunch of them, I guess. None of those being 9s. Looks like the next stack we will get some 10s. How many? A few. This card, I recently, 1 year passed since I was on that chat with John talking about how this was like $1,000 card. It's still funny to me. I was selling them more frequently, between $500 and $1,000, than I'm selling them now, for about $120 to $200 depending on the day. Same goes for the Pikachu. So this next stack is actually a little bit interesting. So anybody who's been to Worlds, or at least like bought the promos, when you buy a competitor's pack, they come with 1 card each of, I think it's like 9 languages. You've got German, French, Italian, Korean, Japanese, English, Portuguese, Spanish. I probably duplicated some there, but I probably missed some too. I never knew that they graded these in foreign languages until sometime last year, probably around this time. So once I found that out, I don't think I chucked out everything, but I chucked out a bunch of them. I'm interested to see how these do. Again, another card, kind of like all that Diamond, Pearl, Platinum era stuff. I have no idea what those go for. I have no idea what the pops are. Not that they're super rare. They're no rarer than the English or the Japanese, but I guess I'll just get rid of the stack of 8s. Some 9 Hidden Fates. Got my boy Charmander there. But yeah, those Champions Festivals is going to be interesting to see what the market does on them. Again, my cost basis in those, I was buying competitors packs for $100 a piece, and I mean the English and the Japanese cards that I would have graded and sold most of them by now, well more than that has already been paid back to me. So anything coming from those, I probably, as I sell, I'll buy. The sealed packs are up a lot more from where they were, but what I tend to do when I'm like getting bonus money like that, if I'm able to sell the PSA 9s, PSA 10s, $100 to $200 a piece, after I sell a few of them, I'll buy a sealed pack for $500, $600, whatever they're going for now, and just rinse and repeat. I'm kind of doing a similar thing with the, I kind of did and continue to do a similar thing with the Staff Vivid Voltage packs and Hidden Fates. Just, I don't think this was a complete set, but it was quite a few, as you can see. Few 9s, sorry, few 8s, more 9s, and then I think even more 10s. So just a really popular set. There's a lot out there. All these pops are pretty high, relatively speaking, for how new they are. and they're all going to get a lot higher, but they're just popular cards. I kind of joked about it and talked about it with people who were talking about eBay sales slowing, and I'm just like, yeah, my WotC sales and sales of like expensive cards are not as good as they were, but sales of cards like this, just sub $200 cards, evolutions, WotC non-holos, hidden fates, just random promos, Japanese promos, like those Pikachus, the Sao I showed earlier, the other ones. Sales like that are really good to me still. Just consistent. There's a random 7 and a 5. I don't know what I missed there, but I guess there was a couple 5s there, so you win some, you lose some. Here's some Darkness Ablaze. Oh, I remember. I sent out a few, 4 or 5, I think, Charizard VMAXs. I think they all got 10s. The population of this card is really, really high. But again, it's Charizard, so I have no idea what it's going for, but I'm assuming it's more than $100. I think I actually pulled a couple of those myself, and I think I bought a couple raw for $100, so hopefully it's more than 100. Not like it's a big deal to lose a little money if I do, but some random modern pulls I guess I had. Spares must be, that I didn't need for my binder. I've sold a handful of these over the past few weeks. I had a sub fairly recently that had a bunch in it. I think this, yeah, so several more PSA 9 Reverse Holo Pikachus. I think those are about 30 bucks a pop. Less than $10 grading. Very low cost basis, so yeah, Reverse Holo Evo Charizard, 100 and something bucks in PSA 9. I've sold a handful of them. Oh, there's the Holo. I think that's 150 to 200 in PSA 9. I haven't had or sold any of these in a while, but yeah, just a really liquid, nowhere near the price it was last year. I think this card, I think it got stupid, like everything was last year. I think it got several $100s. I don't know if it got to 1,000, or unfortunately I didn't have too many back then, but even at a couple $100, that's, for my cost basis, that's good business. Probably would have been better if I had just kept the boxes sealed and then sold them for $1,000 a piece when they peaked, but like anything else, if you time things perfectly, yeah, it's gonna work out amazing. But we'd all be billionaires if we could make the perfect trades at the perfect times. So that's everything. I didn't realize I was on my last stack. I would have gave a little more warning. Annoying thing, I'm gonna have matching scars now. Got that nice scar from when I was younger, and then I'm gonna have a new one this week. For anybody who stuck around till the very end, hopefully. I've got stitches actually under here. Getting these out next week, so I should have them out like the day of or the day after the podcast, and then hopefully my hand will be normal and I don't have to wear a band-aid for next week's videos, because it's really annoying. And yeah, kind of a stupid thing I did. Working on my furnace. But anyways, 30 minutes, 30 whatever we're at, I think that's plenty. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna finish watching the football game tonight, and I'm gonna keep an eye on my auctions. I'm actually really, I enjoyed watching the auctions this week, keeping track of them. I'm actually updating the spreadsheet now. I think I'm gonna make that a bi-weekly thing, like I mentioned. So if that's something you enjoyed, hopefully look forward to that being a recurring thing. Every 2 weeks, I'll show you how the last one went, what I'm putting up in the new one, general discussion on the market, why I'm selling this, what my general thoughts are, whatever. So yeah, that's everything for tonight. I appreciate you all watching. And as always, I will catch you all later.